I won't lie, I was pretty freaked out. My flight was not supposed to be completely alone like this. I'd left everything behind me in Los Angeles and just had to accept fuck it. Into the unknown is the only place for me to go. As the plane took off, so did a long-standing developing adventure. The show must go on. Something in the world was calling me, telling me to explore. So AromaVentures would find its way. Sharing this with you has been my driving force. With little of a plan, I turned my camera on, began filming, all the while strongly believing that eventually a solution would surface. Lucky for me, I love Mexico. Hecho en Mexico. It was fitting for me to make mi episode número uno en este país, and I only heard great things about Oaxaca. Mexico. Well, shall we? Run, 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 run. Hey, 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 oh dear, what the fuck have we here? Oaxaca de Juarez is the capital city in the state of Oaxaca. Located in southern Mexico, the history of this region fascinates me. Since the independence of Mexico in 1821, this region's become most notably known for its tourism. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the vast amounts of archaeological monuments and historic buildings have led to nearly 3/4 of the population working in some segment of the tourism industry. Luckily, this isn't some stereotypical spring breaker resort life type of Mexico. After the struggle of tracking down a feasible rental car, which was completely overpriced in pesos, I threw my bag in the back of it and took off out of town. I weaved through the countryside in search of the region's true nature. As the people I came across kept leading me around new corners, this nearly mile-high region settled me into my circumstances as I looked out on ongoing villages and farmland. Quickly, my focus turned to the authentic new drinks and food I was encountering. It was all so simple, yet I could tell that the robust flavors had been being perfected for centuries. Alyssa arrived finally. Her fascination for cultural traditions led us first off to a town called Teotitlan. This rural village outside of Oaxaca de Juarez is especially known for its skilled textile and candle-making craftsmanship.
La fruta, pomegranate, la cáscara de chiles, porque cuando se pone en agua se pone amarillo y se pudrifica como una semana para pudrificarse y se puede sacar el color.
The warmth of its population was infectious as they welcomed us into their workshops. There they shared with us the ways that they've been making their artistic designs for centuries. Everyone we met insisted visiting Monte Alban. They said it was extremely important, and what we found blew us away. Alyssa was so excited to share this unique history with you all.
The Zapotecs started in 500 BC, and the end of their era ended at 1500 AD. So that's 2,000 years that this tribe has been living at this particular location. The Zapotecs were actually very crafty and very useful with everything that they used. This used to be a mountaintop, if you can believe it or not, and they managed to level it completely. So you could see how hard of workers they actually were and how able they were to accomplish their civilization.
I find death to be a fascinating element of traveling. All over the world, cultures have vastly different traditions in how they respect, mourn, celebrate, and remember their deceased. As we settled into the region of Oaxaca, now having traveled and lived within it for a few weeks, the famous holiday of Dia de Muertos came upon us. The day of Dia de Muertos, translated to Day of the Dead, intentionally coincides with the Catholic holiday known in modern day as Halloween. Small children do enjoy dressing up in the fictional characters of more westernized Halloween costumes. However, the traditional costume wear is the infamous painted calaveras, made up of black and white painted skull face designs. The color and beauty that goes into this 3-day holiday it's clearly apparent that this is a celebration, not a time for grieving. Massive bands lead parade marches through the streets as holidays kick off. In the homes and businesses of Oaxacan citizens, altars are built on tables to welcome the dead home. Paths of marigold petals lead the dead inside from their journeys through the afterlife. On the altars are pictures, candles, and favorite items collected as tribute to welcome back the spirits of the deceased loved ones. In the nighttime, gravesites become a place of gathering for the families, while they clean and decorate the headstones of their deceased loved ones. Meanwhile, street fairs fill every pathway with celebratory art installations, groups of dressed up families and partygoers, and delicious street food. On the final day, I found the entire community slowly parading back into the cemetery for a closing church service. I took in the importance that this community clearly places upon annually respecting those that they have lost and miss. As the celebrations died down, our focus turned towards the special opportunity. We finally needed to select our first ingredient for AromaVentures. We began by scouring local markets full of incredible smells and flavors. As we began to feel out what might work best for us, there were amazing fresh products at every corner we turned. Grasshoppers are a traditional snack of the area, but we felt they were too weird to have been our very first ingredient, although I did find them extremely tasty. Same with Mexican chocolate. Although delicious, we wanted something more versatile as an ingredient to portray the local cuisine. The locally grown dried chilies from Oaxaca not only look beautiful, but we love the diverse range of flavors from their smoky richness to spicy fire. As I spoke in my best efforts of Spanish, I collaborated with the women working in the market for the recipes I was looking to teach everyone. We headed back to our little casacita, and I was super ready to get cooking. So, what do you say? Let's get the AromaVentures packages put to use. As a kid, I grew up on enchiladas. While shopping in the market and discussing the influences of chilies with the booth vendors, I was told that simply by blending the peppers, I could create a fantastic homemade enchilada sauce. I knew there must be more to it, but some of it was lost in translation. I began processing with the peppers and a few other no-brainer ingredients. All of this was blended together and then refrigerated for later when I'd assemble the enchiladas. Before I could work on the filling of a shredded chili braised chicken thigh, I needed to conserve all the seeds from my other recipes. I began working on a marinade for tacos al pastor. It was only natural that I would use two favorites to demonstrate the smoky flavors of the charred pork and pineapple tacos that everyone should enjoy. Tacos al pastor uses a fresh marinade blended together the heat of chilies and the acidity of fresh fruits. After marinating overnight, we grill the pork on high heat and the pineapple as well. Toasting the tortillas and slicing up nice traditional toppings completed the tacos al pastor. The flavor profile of chilies can be used in sweet applications, not just savory. Chocolate mousse grows full of vibrant oomph with the addition of the blended chili peppers. This mousse approach uses a little gelatin as a stabilizer to set up nicely in the fridge within an hour.
Check the vibe, who got more freaky than I survived, down to Juarez, trying to shoot so I wave, I smooth creep and crawl, pick out another batch, let it thaw, and lay shaw, won't take fall, this here is when the take off, trick, take a flick and a click here.
Top it off with some nice crunchy sea salt flakes, and I'm sure it'll end your meal well. But now that we've collected the seeds from the other three recipes, we can now move on to braising the chicken. This simple and classic braising method will give you perfectly moist and flavorful chicken thighs to stuff your enchiladas with. As you remove the chicken from the braising liquid, let the chicken cool and save the braising liquid to mix in with your enchilada sauce. With the sauce thinned and the chicken shredded, we're now ready to begin building the enchiladas. Just reserve the extras to be used later by simply freezing until the next time you crave a delicious homemade all-natural enchilada. I suggest frying the tortillas for a quick second to allow a little extra integrity to their structure so they won't crack and fall apart when you bake them. Even if the tortillas are starting to fall apart and the enchiladas are starting to get a little mashed together, sexy plate presentation might not be possible, but they'll still taste the same, so I say go with it.
Que tal vez mañana yo ya estaré lejos, muy lejos de ti.